If you think money automatically brings happiness, this story will shock you. Before you judge Amara, the rude heiress of Lekki, remember this. Sometimes people become hard because the world first broke them. Madam Amara, driver is outside. Oh, Zina called softly from the doorway. Amara Okoye stood in front of her full-length mirror, expression flat, body wrapped in a silk robe, hair laid, skin glowing. She adjusted her diamond necklace, not because she cared how it looked, but because it was one of the last gifts her mother had given her before that helicopter never landed. Lekki Phase 1 woke up slowly outside her window. Power bikes roared past. Cars honked along Admiralty Way. Vendors pushed wheelbarrows of fruits. Somewhere, someone was already snapping for Instagram stories. Lekki life. Amara didn't smile. Tell him I'm coming, she muttered. Her mansion was the kind people only saw in movies. White walls, glass balconies, a swimming pool that caught the morning light like liquid diamonds, and a driveway that could host a small party. Her parents had built everything from the real estate empire to the oil blocks to the tech shares, and then left suddenly, violently, in an accident that the news carried for weeks. Billionaire couple perish in crash. Only daughter inherits multi-billion naira fortune. After the funeral, the real drama began. Suitors started lining up as if there was a registration form. Pastors brought their sons. Businessmen brought portfolios and fake humility. Soft boys from the island started bumping into her in random restaurants. The first man, Tund, had called her my queen almost immediately. He sent flowers, gifts, long voice notes. She had believed him. One night, she overheard him on a call saying, "Guy, once she signs those documents, we're set for life." The second man arrived with a charming smile and legal documents he claimed were for joint property investment. Buried on page 8 was a clause that would transfer major shares to him in case of emergency management. The third. He forgot to mention he had a wife in the UK. By the time Amara discovered that one, something inside her snapped. Love became a scam. Attention felt like an attack. Every "how are you?" sounded like "how much do you have?" So she built walls. Thick, high, unshakable. People nicknamed her the Iron Lady of Admiralty Way. She didn't care. As she stepped into her white Range Rover that morning, her security man opened the gate. Amara lifted her chin, sunglasses already in place, shielded from the world, even under the Lagos sun. The driver rolled out slowly. Then it happened. Right there, half blocking her gate, was a dusty Hilux with wooden planks at the back and workers carrying sacks of cement. The driver braked. Amara's jaw tightened. "Excuse me," she snapped. "Who owns that thing?" One of the workers pointed. "Oga Nonso." A tall, dark-skinned man in a simple polo shirt and faded jeans turned. He was holding a blueprint in one hand, pen tucked behind his ear, safety helmet under his arm. "Good morning," he said politely, walking closer. "I'll move it now. I apologize for blocking your gate." Amara stepped out of the car, rage already boiling. "Are you blind?" she barked. "Is this a park? Do you know who lives here?" Nonso blinked, slightly startled by the intensity, but his voice remained calm. "I'm really sorry, Ma. We're working on the renovation next door. It won't happen again." She scoffed loudly. "Next time you see a gate like this, use your brain. This isn't some random street in Oka Kameko. This is Lekki. People have important places to be." Her words sliced the air. Even the workers looked away. Nonso simply nodded. "I understand, Ma. I'll move it." He signaled to his team. Within minutes, the Hilux was out of the way. Amara didn't even wait for him to finish before she hissed and climbed back into her SUV. As they drove off, Zina glanced at her in the rearview mirror. "You were a bit harsh, Ma," she said carefully. Amara looked out the window, face hard. "Zina, let me tell you something," she said coolly. "In this Lagos, if you're not harsh, people will climb your head and dance a zonto there. Today it's blocking my gate. Tomorrow it's begging me for contract. Next tomorrow it's asking to manage my properties. I'm tired." Zina sighed softly and kept quiet. Yet, as the car joined the main road, Amara found herself thinking about the man again. Not because he was particularly fine, though he wasn't bad-looking. Not because of his car or clothes, those didn't exactly scream, "Lekki big boy." It was the way he didn't flinch when she insulted him. The way he didn't become overly humble, or start explaining the importance of his work, or try to introduce himself to impress her. He just said sorry, and moved on. Still in her mind, she stamped him with the same label she gave every man. He'll want something later. They always do. She leaned back in her seat and closed her eyes. Let them all stay away, she thought bitterly. I don't need anybody. But destiny had already started moving pieces around her. What Amara didn't know was this. The dusty Hilux, the quiet architect, the noisy renovation next door. They were all part of a plan that would break the Iron Lady's walls in a way money never could. The noise started 2 days later. Drilling, hammering, shouting, concrete mixing. From 7 a.m., the compound next door sounded like a construction site in full war mode. Amara threw her pillow over her head, but the vibrations still reached her bed on the 3rd floor. "Zena!" she yelled. Zena rushed in. "Ma! What is that noise? Are they trying to bring down 3rd Mainland Bridge there?" "It's the same people renovating next door," Zena said gently. "The architect. I think his name is Nonso." Amara's eyes narrowed. "Oh, Hilux boy." She stormed to the balcony, silk robe flying, hair bonnet still tied. Below, she could see the workers busy with scaffolding, bags of cement, and steel rods. In the middle of it all stood Nonso, holding his blueprint, giving instructions. "Why?" she shouted. Everyone paused and looked up. Nonso shaded his eyes from the sun and spotted her. "Good morning, Ma," he called. "What is good about it?" she snapped. "Do you people think this is a factory? How can you be making this kind of noise so early? Some of us actually live here, you know." "I understand, Ma," he replied. "But we spoke with the estate management. We're allowed to work from 7 a.m. We'll try to reduce." "Reduce what? The noise or the nonsense?" She cut in. "Look, I don't care what agreement you have. Next time you start that machine before 9 a.m., I'll call the estate and shut this whole project down. Do you hear me?" One of the workers muttered. "Oh, Auntie, take it easy." Amara pointed immediately. "Ooh. You're fired from my compound. Don't let me ever see you near my fence again." The poor man looked lost. "But I don't even work for you." Nonso quickly stepped in. "It's okay, Joseph. Go inside." Then he looked back up at Amara. "We'll try to adjust, Ma. I apologize for the inconvenience." She hissed again and walked back into her room, slamming the balcony door. Later that day, at brunch with her friends at a fancy spot in 6, the conversation turned into their usual mix of gist, peppered with fake laughs and real judgment. "You need to see the way I finished him," Amara said, cutting into her pancakes. "You can't just bring smelly cement and early morning drilling to my doorstep. This is Lekki, not a motor park." Her friend Tola laughed. "Yusuf, calm down. At least there's one fine neighbor to look at while you're bored. That guy is actually cute." Amara rolled her eyes. "They're all the same. Today it's architect. Tomorrow it's, oh, I have a small startup, can you invest? Or, can you talk to your lawyer about this land? I'm done. Every man that comes near me wants to gain something." Deep down, her words weren't just sarcasm. They were armor. Back at home that evening, Zena found Amara staring out of her balcony again, watching the construction next door. "Ma, are you okay?" she asked. Amara didn't answer immediately. She was watching the way Nonso helped one of his workers lift a heavy sack, how he laughed when the man slipped a little, how the other seemed to genuinely like and respect him. No kissing up. No pretending. No rehearsed humility. Just a normal. "He doesn't behave like someone that wants anything," Zena whispered before she could stop herself. Amara turned sharply. "Who?" "The architect. He always greets the security." Yesterday he helped that woman that sells fruit arrange her load when it fell. And he never tries to talk to you unless you call him. Amara scoffed. Give him time. They all behave like that at first. The script is always the same. Zena shrugged and left her to her thoughts. A week later the rain came. Lekki rain was not gentle. It was dramatic. The sky turned dark, thunder grumbled, lightning struck, and within minutes, the estate roads became small rivers. That evening a violent storm hit. Wind roared through the trees. One side of Amara's perimeter fence, already weakened from age, shuddered under the pressure. Then crack. Part of the wall caved in. Security rushed out. Alarms beep. The dogs started barking madly. Amara ran downstairs in a hoodie and sweatpants, barefoot, heart pounding. What happened? She demanded. Madam, the fence for back Don fall. One of the guards shouted over the storm. She stepped into the rain, water soaking her clothes immediately. As she rounded the corner, she saw it. A large section of the fence had collapsed, leaving part of her estate exposed to the outside. And right there on the other side, Nonso and his workers. No umbrella. No delay. Bring more blocks, he shouted. Quickly, before the foundation weakens more. He climbed over the broken fence, mud splashing his jeans, and immediately started directing his crew to steady the weakened sections with temporary supports. Amara stared, shocked. What are you doing here? Nonso glanced up briefly, rain running down his face. We noticed the fence was shaking from our side. If we don't stabilize it now, the damage will be worse. Please, Ma, step back. It's not safe. She folded her arms. You don't even work for me. I didn't hire you. I don't need a contract to stop a wall from falling on people, he replied, voice firm but not rude. For 2 hours in the pouring rain, Nonso and his team worked to support the fence with wooden braces and fresh blocks to stop further collapse. He refused to go under the canopy. He refused offers for a towel. He just worked. When they finally finished, Amara's teeth were chattering from cold. She hadn't realized how long she'd been standing there watching. Nonso wiped his hands on his wet shirt. We'll come back tomorrow in the morning to do proper work when it's safe, he said. For now, this will hold. Amara cleared her throat. How much do I owe you? He shook his head immediately. Nothing. It was an emergency. You can pay the workers something if you like, but I didn't come here for money. Something twisted in her chest at those words. People always came for something. But this time, did they really not? She watched him walk away in the rain, joking with his men, no cameras, no forming, no madam, please remember us. That night, lying awake in her king-sized bed, she replayed his words over and over. I didn't come here for money. For the first time in a very long time, doubt entered her heart, not about others, but about her own judgment. Could she have been wrong about some people? The next morning, Lagos woke up pretending last night's storm never happened. Generators hummed. Children in uniforms dragged their school bags. Instagram stories showed people in clean clothes, no evidence of flooded streets or fallen fences. But inside Amara's mansion, there was a new tension. She watched from her window as Nonso and his team returned, this time in clean clothes and fresh boots. The sun was out, and they worked with quiet focus, reinforcing the broken wall properly. No one came to her door asking for money. No one sent a message with her security saying, Madam, greet Oga for us. No one lingered at her gate. Around noon the bell rang. Ma, Zena said from the doorway. Mama Obianuju is here. Amara straightened up. Auntie Uju. She walked downstairs and met a full-figured woman in her late 50s sitting in the living room, wrapper tied, geli perfectly arranged, gold jewelry shining. Her eyes were kind, the type that had seen many things and still chose softness. My daughter, she said, rising to hug Amara. You're glowing. Amara forced a smile. Good afternoon, Auntie. They exchanged pleasantries. After a while, Obianuju's eyes drifted to the window where a small part of the construction site next door was visible. "You've finally started using your father's connection," she said quietly. Amara frowned. "What do you mean?" "That young man. The architect. So. Your father always said he would be a great one." Amara sat up fully. "You know him?" Obianuju chuckled. "Know him? Your father sponsored his university education." Silence fell heavy. Amara stared. "Wait. What?" "Oh yes," Obianuju continued, adjusting her wrapper. "Years ago, your father went to one of his sites to inspect some things. He saw a teenage boy mixing cement with men twice his age. That boy was Nonso. Instead of just giving him money, he tested him. Questions. Saw his sketches. Your father said, 'This boy's mind is sharper than half the engineers I pay.'" Amara's heart started to race. "So he paid his school fees." "Not just fees," Obianuju said. "Accommodation. Allowance. He made sure the boy didn't drop out. But he did it secretly. Your father didn't like turning kindness into announcement. He told me, 'One day, this boy will design buildings that will outlive all of us.'" Amara swallowed hard. Does Nonso know?" "He only knows that a sponsor helped him," Obianuju said. "Your father never allowed us to reveal his name." For a moment, all the noise around them blurred. Images flashed in Amara's mind, the calmness of Nonso, his refusal of money, his quiet confidence, the way the workers respected him, the way he didn't try to impress her. This wasn't some random Hilux boy. This was her father's investment. Her father's choice. The discovery hit her like cold water. All this time, while she was insulting him for blocking her gate and making noise, she was indirectly talking to someone her father had believed in. Someone who owed everything to the man she loved most. Tears pricked her eyes unexpectedly. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" she whispered. "Because you shut many people out after your parents died," Obianuju said gently. "Any time we tried to talk about your father's unfinished plans, you would say you didn't want to hear. Grief makes people close their ears sometimes." Amara looked away, guilt and pain wrestling inside her. "So," she said slowly, "this whole time, I've been treating him like one of those men who just want something from me." Obianuju placed a hand over hers. "Not everyone is coming to collect from you, Amara. Some people are answers to your parents' prayers for you." The words sank deep. After her aunt left, Amara stood at her balcony again, elbows resting on the glass railing. Below, Nonso was directing workers, measuring angles, marking lines in chalk on the ground. His face was serious, focused, but relaxed. She hesitated. Normally, she waited for people to come to her. This time she went to them. "Good afternoon," she said, stepping out through the side gate. Nonso turned, surprised. He hurriedly wiped dust off his hands. "Good afternoon, Ma. How is the fence holding?" "It's fine," she said, voice softer than he'd ever heard it. "I, wanted to say thank you. For yesterday." He smiled. "You're welcome. We just did what needed to be done." She nodded awkwardly. "Also, I may have been harsh. About the car. And the noise. I haven't been very fair to you." He looked at her closely, as if trying to read whether it was sarcasm. Instead, he found tiredness in her eyes. And something else, shame. "No problem, Ma," he said. "We understand you value your peace. We'll be more careful." There was a pause. "You don't have to call me Ma all the time," she blurted. "My name is Amara." He chuckled a little. "Okay. Amara." Hearing her name in his calm, steady voice did something strange to her chest. Trying to distract herself, she cleared her throat. "So, how did you become an architect? Lagos is full of people that say they are project managers that don't know anything about projects." He laughed properly this time. "It's a long story. I used to work as a laborer on sites as a teenager. One day, a wealthy man saw me sketching a building on cement bags. He decided to sponsor me." Her heartbeat quickened. "Did he ever tell you his name?" "No," Nonso replied. I only know him as Sir. We never even met properly after that first time. Everything was handled through his office. I tried to track him down when I graduated, but he died before I could. Helicopter crash, I heard. Amara's breath caught. She gripped the railing of the broken fence, knuckles turning white. Nonso didn't notice the full depth of her reaction. He continued, eyes far away, voice laced with gratitude. My whole life changed because of that man, he said. Sometimes I wish I could say thank you properly. But since I can't, I try to honor him by working well and not cutting corners. That's the least I can do. Amara blinked rapidly. Her vision blurring with tears she refused to let fall. That man, she said quietly, was my father. Nonso froze. He turned slowly, searching her face to see if she was joking. I'm serious, she whispered. My dad was Chief Damien Okoye. He told Auntie Obianuju about you. The boy on the site. The one he sponsored. That was you. For a brief moment, the entire site seemed to hold its breath. Then the realization hit him. His eyes widened. His mouth parted slightly. He looked at her as if seeing her for the first time. You're his daughter. Amara nodded, tears finally slipping down her cheeks. Yes. And I've been treating you like trash. For the first time since they'd met, Nonso didn't know what to say. He had imagined thanking his mysterious sponsor 1,000 times. He had never imagined standing face to face with his daughter, especially not the same heiress who had once called his car scrap. He exhaled slowly. Wow. I'm sorry, Amara said, wiping her cheeks. I've been angry at the world for so long, I started attacking anyone that came near me. I didn't know you were connected to him. It's okay, he replied gently. You've been through a lot. She shook her head. That doesn't excuse my behavior. The workers quietly drifted away to another section of the site, pretending to focus on their tasks while secretly listening. Nonso glanced around. Do you want to sit and talk somewhere quieter? Amara hesitated, then nodded. They sat on a cement block near the fence, dust staining her designer jeans. For once, she didn't care. My father believed in you, she said. He used to say things like, the future belongs to people like that boy, not just spoilt rich kids. It used to annoy me then, but now, I understand. Nonso smiled faintly. He saved me from a life I didn't want. I was supposed to drop out after secondary school and join my uncle selling spare parts. Not that it's a bad life, but my heart was always in buildings. In drawing, designing, creating something from nothing. Amara listened, truly listened, as he told her about his childhood, growing up in a cramped apartment in Ajigunal, working on construction sites after school, sketching houses on brown envelopes and cement bags. I wanted to design spaces where people could breathe, he said, eyes shining. Places that feel like hope, even if you don't own much. Like that house you're renovating, she murmured. He laughed. Something like that. Over the next few weeks, their conversations became more frequent, more natural. Sometimes it was about architecture. Sometimes about Lagos traffic, or the madness of social media, or the emptiness of fake friendships. Slowly, she began to let him see the parts of her no-gossip blog ever showed. The nights she woke up from nightmares of helicopter blades. The pain of watching family members fight over her inheritance like vultures. The betrayal of men who looked into her eyes and saw only bank alerts. I stopped believing anyone could love me just as Amara, she admitted one day. Not the heiress. Not the trust fund baby. Just me. Nonso looked at her quietly for a long moment. You know something, he said finally. When I first started working here, I thought you were proud and wicked. He gasped. Ah. So you were judging me too. He grinned. A little. But then I realized something. People who bark that loud are usually protecting something soft inside. You're not as hard as you pretend. She rolled her eyes playfully. Please don't start doing psychology for me. They both laughed. But the truth of his words stayed with her. One evening, as the sun dipped over Lekki and painted the sky gold, Amara's phone buzzed. It was Tola, her brunch friend. "Babe, are the rumors true?" Tola's voice crackled through the speaker. "People are saying you're dating some broke architect from next door. Screenshots are flying about. Are you okay?" "Rumors." Amara frowned. "From where?" "From your estate. Oh. Someone's nanny recorded you and him laughing near the fence 2 days ago. The video is online. Blogs are already captioning it. Heiress of Lekki dumps big boys for dusty builder. I just wanted to check if you're fine." Amara's chest tightened. "Let them talk," she said weakly. "I'm fine." But she wasn't. Her whole life had been under a microscope. Every step judged. Every decision dissected. The thought of another man being dragged, insulted, or accused of chasing her money made her stomach twist. Later that night, she scrolled through her phone and saw it. A blurry video of her and Nonso at the fence, laughing about cement dust. Comments were wild. "She will still break his heart." "Another guy hustling for generational wealth. Architect today, co-heir tomorrow. Na men I day pity." She wanted to throw her phone at the wall. The next day, reporters found him. He had been nominated for a prestigious architectural award for his work on a community library project in Yaba. Journalists gathered at the event venue, snapping photos, asking questions. One of them, always hungry for drama, raised a hand. "Mr. Eek, quick question," she said loudly. "There's a video of you online with billionaire heiress Amara Okoye. People are saying you're the latest man in line to secure the bag. Are you with her because of her wealth?" Cameras turned. Microphones extended. Social media live streams lit up. From her living room, watching the event on her TV, Amara held her breath. Nonso adjusted the microphone, expression relaxed. "I've heard some of those comments," he said. "But let me clarify something. When I met Amara, I was here to work, not to search for a jackpot." The crowd chuckled. "I didn't even know she was the famous heiress. I knew her first as a neighbor who liked peace and quiet and had strong opinions about my Hilux." Laughter rippled again. "Her wealth is hers. My purpose is mine. I'm not with her for money. I'm with her because she reminds me of someone learning to trust the world again." The room fell quiet. Then applause. At home, Amara's eyes filled with tears. No man had ever defended her publicly. No man had ever separated her from her money like that. No man had ever said out loud that he saw her, not her inheritance. In that moment, something inside the Iron Lady cracked open completely. Not because of romance, but because someone finally chose to see her as human. Life after the interview didn't suddenly become a fairy tale. Blogs still wrote nonsense. Some of Amara's so-called rich friends still sent snide messages. "Wow, babe, so you're doing working-class love now? Be careful, oh. Poor boys love with passion but collect with strategy. Imagine you, Okoye of Lekki, with someone whose car still has manual windows." But Amara had changed too much to care the way she used to. One afternoon, she sat in her father's old study, the one she rarely entered because it smelled like memories and old cologne. Dust had settled on his wooden desk. Picture frames lined the shelves. She picked up one photo. Her father, smiling broadly, one arm around her teenage self, the other holding a building plan. "You don't build strong houses with weak foundations, Amara," she remembered him saying. "The same applies to life. If your heart's foundation is fear, you'll destroy good things without knowing." She ran a finger along the glass. Fear. That had been her foundation for years. Fear of being used. Fear of being lied to. Fear of being seen as a walking ATM instead of a person. That fear had made her rude, pompous, dark. It had protected her, but it had also isolated her. Now, for the first time, she wanted something different. She called Zina. "Book a meeting with my lawyers," she said. "And get me a good NGO consultant." Zina's eyes widened. "Ma, what's happening?" "I want to start something," Amara said. "For girls like me. Girls who have been used, lied to, manipulated. Not just rich girls, any girl whose heart has been treated like a transaction. Weeks turned into months. Amara poured herself into work, not just managing her parents' businesses with renewed discipline, but designing a new project. Foundation. In a quiet hall in Lekki, months later, banners hung from the ceiling. Hearts Without Price Foundation. Launching today. Journalists sat with notepads ready. Influencers took selfies. Young women from different backgrounds filled the room, some from rich homes, some from poor ones, all carrying invisible scars. Amara stepped onto the stage in a simple but elegant Ankara dress. Nothing overly flashy, just tasteful. She took a deep breath and smiled. "Good evening, everyone," she began. "My name is Amara Okoye. Some of you know me as the Heiress of Lekki, or if you follow certain blogs, the Iron Lady of Admiralty Way." Laughter rolled softly through the crowd. "I used to be proud of those names," she continued. "They made me feel strong, untouchable, like nobody could hurt me again. But the truth is, I was already hurt, betrayed. I believed every man, every friend, every hello came with a price tag." She paused, scanning the faces in front of her. "So I became harsh, rude, suspicious, pushed everyone away. I thought I was protecting my heart, but I was really burying it." In the front row, Nonso watched quietly, pride glowing in his eyes. "It took a stranger," Amara said, glancing briefly at him. "Someone who didn't want my money, someone my father believed in, to show me that not everyone is coming to collect. Some are coming to give, to build, to heal." She gestured to the banner behind her. "This foundation, Hearts Without Price, is for every girl who thinks she has to become a stone to survive. We're here to teach emotional intelligence, financial literacy, healthy boundaries, therapy access, mentorship, so that you can be strong without becoming cold. So you can trust again wisely without letting past wounds destroy your future." Applause thundered through the hall. As she left the stage, cameras flashed. A reporter stopped her. "Miss Okoye, one question. What changed you?" Amara smiled softly. "I realized that if you let pain guide your decisions, you will push away the very people God sent to heal you," she said. "The lesson is simple. Not everyone wants what you have. Some people genuinely want who you are." Later that evening, back at her mansion, the house felt different. Not because the furniture had changed. Not because the walls were newly painted. But because she had changed. She stepped into the compound just as Nonso was about to leave. He leaned against his Hilux, scrolling through his phone. "Hey, architect," she called. He looked up and grinned. "Madam Founder. So you finally agreed to change the world, ABI." "One broken heart at a time," she replied playfully. They stood in a comfortable silence for a moment, the Lekki breeze carrying distant sounds of traffic and laughter. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" he asked. "For not running away when I was at my worst. For seeing me as more than my money. For honoring my father's kindness by becoming exactly who he believed you would be." Nonso shrugged, eyes warm. "He believed in me first. You're just continuing the legacy." She smiled, the kind of smile that reached her eyes this time. The Iron Lady of Lekki was gone. In her place stood a woman still wealthy, still beautiful, but softer, wiser, and finally free. As the camera of life pulled back from the Lekki skyline, the mansions, the traffic, the lagoon shimmering in the distance, a quiet truth settled over her story. Money can build walls. But only trust, kindness, and healing can turn those walls into doors. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, tell us what you think of the story and where you are watching from in the comment. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Bye for now.